It's the Mina's House podcast, episode 137. We are rolling. I'm Mina. Say what?
I'm Shayna B.
Garnett Briscoe, Sherlock Homeboy, same person.
Dexter Stuckey.
Dexter, I've been meaning to say this to you for weeks. I thought you were Dexter One. Like, when did we
change it up? So look, people would listen to this. They'd be like, "Let me find him on Instagram." So I'm on Instagram. My name is Dex Stuckey. So I didn't want them to be looking for Dexter One and somebody else get my followers.
It's all about the followers, huh?
It's all about the followers.
Well, what are you gonna do about your Twitter? Because your Twitter's industry friends.
Well, now that I see that Industry Friends, which is my podcast, is available now on Twitter, I'm just going to create one for it so I can go back to Dex Stuckey on.
Okay, good. All right, you got to get that together, Dex, because it's not all even here. So let's get right into it, because today we have hopefully we have a guest of the podcast, Molly Brazy. She's straight out of Detroit. She's a female rapper. You know, I always try to support female rappers, up and coming ones. It's nice that we have a lot of female rappers now, but I know it definitely can still be very, very difficult. So whatever I can do to support, especially someone like her who is actually like, she is spitting, like she got bars, you know, so she'll join us and pop in at some point during the podcast. But let's get into what's in our feed. I think, you know, Nick Cannon has caused a stir since last week, this week. Recently, he apologized. Some people are upset that he apologized. He made some remarks on his podcast that were offensive to the Jewish community. How do you guys feel about this? Because I'm seeing the word sellout being thrown out there, which is a word that, you know, I don't try, you know, I don't use for people. But how do you guys feel about this?
I think coming from his point of view, I think the way he probably looked at it is, you know, in that moment he was representing himself, but he is more than just himself. Like, you know, when he lost a job, a lot of people that, you know, he wanted to help in their careers, you know, now they're out of a job because of that. So I think he saw it from that point of view.
Yeah. Good.
Go ahead.
That's a good point. I think that, like, that's exactly what I think. That's where he was coming from. But also, I think it's kind of like one of those things where it's easier to have a conversation with someone when you're invited to the table versus trying to have a conversation from outside. And I think Nick wants to be back in that area, back in the house, if you will. He wants to be back in the house so he can physically have that conversation.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for him, that all the people that are calling him a sellout. I think that, you know, we can all have the moment to be aware and have a conversation, and it doesn't have to be a sellout type of mode. You know, this is where, and where we are, and with the BLM movement, we want people to understand us and hear us. So I don't think it's really fair for people to call him a sellout because he was looking and seeking to apologize and, as you said, kind of sit down and have a conversation. He didn't say that, you know, I'm going to change my stance on everything. Maybe I was misinformed about something, but I think that we're in this state in our world where, you know, we should be able to have conversations, whether difficult or not, and be understood and not considered a sellout.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you guys. I mean, even when we were talking about it last week, you know, I'm not very well versed in everything that he's talking about, you know, so it's like I try to be very respectful to how people feel, but the reality is he struck some people the wrong way, you know, and when you do that, you would hope that there's a conversation where we can talk about our differences and what you think versus what I think. But, you know, Viacom kind of pulling the cord really sent a strong message. And at the end of the day, you know, we are all entitled to our opinions, and some opinions may offend some people. It doesn't make it right, but it happens. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, he has a livelihood. He has a career. So it's like he has kids to feed and mouths to feed. And to your point, Garnett, he has a whole bunch of people relying on him. He has checks that he signs, you know, and it's like, it's very hard to have all those things going on and be 1,000% honest about all your feelings, because you got to walk this fine line, right? And that's why a lot of people encourage us to have our own things, to have ownership in our own stuff. so that you can kind of be independent of these corporations. But at the end of the day, if this corporation is signing your check, you got to be careful, you know? And it's sad, but that's the truth, you know? So I'm just happy that Fox is still allowing him to do The Masked Singer, you know, and then maybe he can build on that. But I was definitely disappointed to see when people were calling him a sellout, because I've talked to Nick a couple of times, and, you know, if anybody has put on, it's been Nick in so many different ways, since he was a kid, writing and producing and all of that.
And The Masked Singer is a very good show. And
Yes.
it's I was nervous. Like, I can't lose that show.
Right, I agree. And he's just a genius at creating these things, you know? And I think for a while, people really clowned him for whatever reason, you know? But but now, like,
we know why. We know why. We know why, man.
He's one of these guys that are going to be our executives, you know? I mean, he's going to grow into that. Hopefully you want that to happen. So, and he's taking a break from the radio show too. I mean, he's kind of just shutting down.
That sucks, yeah.
Which I feel bad for, you know? But this is an opportunity for dialogue and for everybody to learn. And I see him having that dialogue and those conversations. So anything that we can do to not be divided and move together, I'm always for, you know?
Yeah.
All right, let's get this out of the way before Molly comes on here, because Shayna, I thought about you and I just wanted your perspective as a woman in sports. 15 female ex-Redskins, which they're changing their name, so we don't know what to call them anymore.
Red tails,
whatever. Red tail employees, which red tail makes me think of the movie.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Me too.
They said they were sexually harassed, and it's 15 women, and this is years ranging from 2006 to 2019. Shayna, have you ever been harassed at work? I mean, you don't have to be absolutely honest, but as a woman in music, it happens a lot. I can't even imagine a woman in sports. I mean, what has your perspective been on this?
Well, I would say it varies. I mean, of course, being a woman in sports, you're definitely going to get hit on, you know, and the level and the way that, you know, different men try to do it is different because everybody is different, you know, from just a casual hitting on you to being super aggressive. You know, there's it's just levels. I've been fortunate enough to never be in a situation where I felt scared, where I felt dangerous, you know, that it felt danger, where I really felt like someone was coming for me and putting me in an uncomfortable situation. I don't necessarily know anyone that I worked with at the team that I was specifically at, and just being around athletes that was in that particular situation. But I do know people in other teams that I've talked to that have been, you know, in those type of situations. And it does happen. And again, you know, I do think for some of these men, they don't take it as like they're being super aggressive or it's harassing, and they don't know when to stop. A lot of it is, and again, we're not talking about just the athletes. It could be, you know, coaches, people in the front office, whatever the case may be. Sometimes I do think, and I'm not giving them excuses, but they're not used to really the rejection side of it. So they don't know how to handle when a woman's just like, nah, I'm cool. But when you continue to pursue her in a way that really makes her feel uncomfortable, because again, everybody's level is different. You know, I'm from Philly, where when I even think, I'm going to cut you right off.
Right.
Like you're going to hear my mouth
pump
and
your
it's going to
brakes.
stop. Right. So, you know, that's why I say everybody's level is just a little different and their experiences are different. And I will say, you know, it's just like anything. It's just like in life. Men will try who they think they can try. And if they think and they sometimes sense that you're a little fearful, and you should not feel fearful at all in your place of employment, they will keep pursuing you and think it's like almost like a game. So I feel really bad for these women. You know, it's not said yet whether this was the same individuals. I'm thinking it is, just because of the way it's spanned over the years. You know, just not enough information yet on, you know, who the actual harasser or harassers were. But it's a very real. Again, fortunate for me, but I've heard stories from people and even men that I would not have thought took things that far that have done it to women. So
yeah, I mean, someone randomly retired.
right,
On the
that's when you
team.
always gotta look like
right. So someone randomly retired, and then someone's just randomly been fired, and
right.
they haven't linked it to this. But when you start seeing heads rolling,
You already know.
you know there's something happening behind the scenes. But I do think that it was a good point, Shayna. I think that there's a very thin line between someone coming on to you and just flirting and then someone being sexually harassed. And the line really depends on the woman.
Yeah, it depends on the woman.
know?
It depends on the man. It depends on if you're just casually like, whatever. I like to take you out on a date, whatever guys say. But if you're just casually like, I really want to see what you look like under those clothes. Like, you know what I mean? Again, there's different levels.
Right.
That it doesn't have to be this super aggressive nature that you're like, wait a minute, did he just tell me he want to see me naked? So, right. It just all depends.
But even something like, oh, your body looks really nice in that dress, right? So different women might take that the wrong way, or everybody takes it differently. It depends on their level of tolerance and what they're used to, right? So if someone said that to me, I'd be like, "Ooh, thank you. I've been in the gym," But some other people might take it like, "Wow, he's objectifying me," So it's like, I think that people need to be more vocal about the things that make them feel uncomfortable.
Right. You have to tell people like, listen, I that's not cool. Stop them kind of in their tracks. Because again, unfortunately, everyone we do have, like you said, that one comment may make you excited where it may make another woman feel completely violated. I can say this with my group of male friends that I grew up in sports. We said probably the most inappropriate stuff to each other all the time, but they were kind of like brothers to me. So I would never even take it like it's harassment when they like, "Ooh, Shayna, I don't know if you cold. I don't know." Like that's not even her because of how our relationship was. So, again, that's why I just say it's definitely different. But, just for any woman in any situation, whether it be sports or not, we do live in a world where people want to hear about these things. It's not really the time when you can't speak up. So even if you do feel like you're in an uncomfortable situation, definitely speak up and let somebody know. Let that person know and then let somebody know.
And then guys, be careful because don't be too cute with people. People have to understand, like, you're still at work. I mean, it comes from, it's who's the person? What kind of relationship do you have? B, what is the comment? So it's like, it's better to be safe, and don't try to get too kiki ha ha with someone, because you never know how they're going to take it. And then people need to be more vocal, even other men. That's something I noticed. Yeah. Like, men need to check other men. Like, yo, that was out of pocket. Like, why would you say that? Like, when Garnett be kissing people in the Corona, I'm like, Garnett, what are you doing? Like,
it's still a thing.
It's still a thing. It's still a thing.
You gotta hold the people. You gotta hold the people around you accountable.
But I was gonna say, the other thing is scary though, is like, you also don't want people to, like, if you really find somebody you're attracted to be scared to ask them on a date, because a lot of times people do meet their mates or potential boos where you work at. You spend so much time there working in sports. I used to spend 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Like, so you also want to be mindful, like, there are people that are going to date and flirt and be together. And I hope that, just people aren't scared to explore their heart. Just do it with the right person.
That's
the right way.
I don't date nobody at work. Nope. That is my cardinal rule.
I mean, you work in radio. They're all ugly. They are. That's they say. You gotta.
Damn, shots fired.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Like,
yo, but you know what's funny? Even if I remotely found someone attractive, when you're working with people, they be on your nerves so much that my attraction instantly left. Like, you annoying, bruh. Like, so I make it a rule of thumb to just try to separate as much as possible,
And Garnett was saying something, but I don't think we picked it up.
I mean, can you imagine being around somebody all day, at work, at home,
I've done it.
Oh.
It was a challenge. I will definitely admit that. It was a challenge because it would be like, we're not going to argue right now because we're going into work. Okay, no, we're not going to argue.
Right.
Then the next thing you know, no argument, and then 5 minutes later, like, but you ain't have to say that. What? I said we're not going to talk about it.
I can't. I need my time out. You go to your job, I'll go to my job. I can't.
It is definitely difficult.
All right, so what's going on with Trey Songz, Dex? I mean, you're going to be our Trey Songz correspondent.
So today, like, I went on social media and I saw Trey Songz was trending. I said, what did he do? Like, so I clicked on it. And so James Harden, like, the Houston Rockets posted a picture of him in his mask. And it was a black mask, and they had like a flag on it, and there was like some blue hints in it. So there's like a Police Lives Matter type of mask. So then the Houston Rockets posted it, and they said masked up. Trey Songz saw it, and he said, "This is certified clown shit. I'll say it for everybody who's scared. FOH." Which, for those of you who don't feel like looking on Urban Dictionary, get the F out of here. So Trey Songz said that social media went kind of crazy with it because they were kind of dragging James, and they were telling, some people were dragging James, some people were telling Trey to like relax a little bit. James basically said that I wasn't trying to make a political statement. This is just a mask that covered my full beard.
Right, because it's long.
And it's free.
Trey also got into a mess with Meek Mill a couple weeks ago, too. Like, Meek posted a picture of him counting money, basically. And Trey said, well, maybe you should use some of that money to donate to this organization, to this charity. And Meek was like, well, look, I donated my car to this charity. Like, I've done stuff for my city. So people are now saying that Trey's talking just a little too much and calling him out for being a fake activist, while others are saying, like, Trey's the man. Like, Trey's stepping it up. What do you guys think?
Well, remember Trey put that story out that we were talking about, the ex Sixers dancer, and how she was alleging that that she was treated unfairly by another captain on the team, and that started a whole situation. I mean, for a minute, I did think it was kind of cool that he was using his platform to kind of amplify certain stories that were not being told, but now I feel like it's turning into bullying a little bit.
Yeah, I just feel like, going from that Sixers situation to now here we are with James Harden to back to that Meek situation. There's nothing wrong with being an activist, but you should probably get your facts before you just start coming for people. Right. And you've been coming for like a lot of people, and you don't even know half of the story. And I feel like and I did see Meek and a lot of people talk about James, like, you don't know James. Like, James gives a crazy amount of money to different organizations, to his city. Again, things that he's not bragging about because you don't have to when you really want to be a true activist and really mean what you say and say what you mean. So it's just like, Trey's just kind of messy to me because, again, nobody was coming at you when you had your issues with domestic violence. So you might want to stop coming at people.
Right. And that's the only thing that's kind of weird about all of this, because Trey uses his platform and then his fans attack. Yeah. And we're starting to see this thing where people's fans are attacking. And I'm like, I feel like people attack Nick Cannon. I feel like it's getting to a place where people are being bullied.
So hold on. Trey's Angels are attacking
Trey's Angels.
They ain't angels no
I
more.
know you're angels.
But yeah, I think we need some songs, Trey songs. Like, this is the time. We need some love music, man. We don't need you on the internet being the police for black people. We don't do that. We don't.
Yo, that is hilarious.
If he is going to use his platform in that manner, I do think he probably should, have his facts in order before he goes and steps out on a ledge. And at this point, I feel like he disrespected Meek Mill. Like, Meek Mill had a whole run about how he did stuff for his city. Like, this was a part of his reform and rebrand coming out of jail, and he did a fantastic job. It's like, how do you not know about this stuff?
Yeah. I also think Meek kind of clapped back a little bit. Like, Meek was kind of like, bro, I do this and I do that. And, It was just, on both ways, it was just a lot on social media.
Well, I feel like Meek had to, because, again, like, Trey put him on blast with all of these followers. Like, so it was like, I have to. Like, I'm not going to not say anything. I have to.
Right.
Which is why Meek spoke up for James, and a lot of other people did as well. And then a lot of people were saying that, like, yeah, I was today years old when I found out that meant Blue Lives Matter.
Right.
Like, they were like, I just would have thought it was a mask too and not thought nothing about it.
I didn't know that either.
He also spoke up for James because I think he got a little bit of hatred for Trey Songz now.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, you wildin', you calling everyone out? Like, you doing a lot, bro. I mean, nobody can work right now, so Trey got time.
He can go in the studio like Garnett said. He got time to go in the studio. And people are releasing music. He can do it.
All right, moving on. Megan has unfollowed Tory Lanez.
Yeah, and guess what? With you guys, I really like you guys. I've grown to have really great relationships with the three of you, and I love you guys on social media, but I can guarantee you, if one of you shoot me, I'm going to unfollow you. We're not going to be friends no more.
Understood and agreed. Understood and agreed.
Wait, but why was that the headline? Megan unfollows Tory Lanez after
right.
Like, yo, that unfollow is real.
Yeah, it is.
I still have so many questions about the. I mean, again, we get down to the same result, but I have so many questions. Like, because again, we had this live of Megan and Kylie, and Tory was in the back. Then we find out he gets arrested. Then we see this video footage where she's still in the same bikini, and the cops are making her walk, and he's on the ground. It's just like, what happened that this went left real fast?
Right. That's what I don't understand, because they were hanging out. But, you know, Tory's been suffering from some emotional stuff. I mean, I think he's better now.
Keep that to himself with a gun. Like,
I'm not justifying it, but I know in the past he's had some issues with some, you know, just getting himself together. And I don't want to misquote what he has or misdiagnose him, but I'm pretty sure he suffered from something. So not that justifies anything.
I was going to say she's suffering from gunshot. Like, and that's the thing. Like we all said, like you could have killed her. Like you could have hit a artery or something in her foot that goes to, like, you could have killed her. So it's like, I don't know what could have been that serious, from partying to, you know, to shooting.
Yeah. And allegedly too, because like it's only speculation that he did
it. Right.
He has said it, which is a little odd to me. Like, let me tell you another thing. If one of y'all shoot me, I'm going to snitch on you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, Mina said what?
It was her. We don't need to play Clue. It was Mina with the gun in the driver's seat of the car.
And then if one of my friends says, like, I was there, but I didn't do it. No. You need to say who did it. Like,
right.
Don't just say it wasn't you.
Right. That was a way to kind of go around it. I mean, even me as a reporter for days, I was like, allegedly, because you had the LAPD not confirming, saying that Megan did not let them know that she was a victim, which if someone shot, like, isn't it your job to investigate, you know?
Right.
It was just
out
of the situation.
Right. So safe to say that if someone shoots you guys, you're unfollowing them, huh?
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit more than unfollowing. As Dex said, I'm telling everybody it is going to be. I'm doing a live from the hospital, letting you know.
I'm
right.
Real life. That's what I might have to do. You shoot me in the foot, I'm see you.
Yeah.
Hello.
But now, and speaking of Trey Songz, it you know, another discussion I've seen popped up with this is, you know, the abuse towards women. And, you know, we know that there was like an activist that was killed by a Black man. Like, what is going on, you know, that again would escalate a situation that would cause Tory to shoot her. I'm pretty sure y'all wasn't playing with the gun in the car like we talked about the other day. I'm pretty sure y'all weren't like 5-year-olds like click and then it went out. It seems like some kind of argument or something happened and then he was shooting her.
So all of you guys have changed. I think, Arnett, your perspective was that it was a mistake. So now, okay.
I read that. I was like, no way. Like, there's no way this happened. But yeah, that I feel like exactly what Shayna just said. If it's definitely more of an abusive thing, it completely changed my mind.
Hi, Molly.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're just talking about getting shot by your friend.
Oh, yeah.
And the stages thereafter.
Right. So, welcome to the Mina's House podcast. Nice to meet you. I'm Mina. Say what?
I'm Shayna B.
I'm Garnett Briscoe, aka Sherlock Homeboy.
Dexter, aka Dexter One, but if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Dex.
Molly's gonna follow you right now. So Molly Brazy is coming straight out of Detroit. Hi, Molly. How are you? What you got there, Molly? What'd you get us?
I don't know what I got. I just be getting stuff.
They be sending you stuff for free?
Yeah.
So Molly, you have 1.3 Instagram followers. And
1.3 million.
Million, right. Million. So, and 304,000 YouTube followers. You have some online following. Like, you're probably getting all this free stuff as an influencer. Like, how did you even build that up to get to that point?
I honestly don't know. It just came with it. Like, I feel like me just staying regular, like not, getting a big head about a lot of things. Like, I really get overwhelmed about a lot of stuff that I like accomplish. So it's like I don't really know how to express it, so I don't change as a person. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people can really relate to me, and like that's how people still. I don't know. It just grow, I guess.
I don't want to be in your business or call you out, but when you first came on, you had like this bag of like the Cheetos. I think they were like the Cheetos paws. Like during quarantine, like my go-to one has been like the flaming hot Doritos. Like
That's what you
now.
That is funny.
What are your go-to like quarantine snacks now?
I've been trying to eat healthy. So, cucumbers.
Cucumbers? Girl! Don't be having no cucumber parties over there.
I love cucumbers. I only eat them. That's it. That's all I do.
So wait, do you eat the cucumbers just regular, or you put the salt and the pepper and all that little stuff on there and make it like, like a real snack?
I normally eat it with ranch and bacon bits and pepper, but I just tried it with lemon and what's that seasoning? It's like Mexican lime seasoning. It's good.
I'm not Mexican, but
cucumber.
So Molly, you've been rapping for how long now? Because girl, you like we were talking, you rap. You not playing with it. Like you rapping. Tell us how you started rapping and like what's that been like?
I started rapping. Well, I've been like writing raps like ever since like my brothers went to jail. Like it just gave me something extra to do like with my free time because they always was rapping around me. But I never wanted to freestyle because the things they were just coming up with off the dome, I just could never do it. So then I started writing, and then one day I just got kicked out of high school for fighting, and it was early in the morning, so I was bored as hell, and I just recorded one of the freestyles I had in my phone, and then I uploaded like a week later, and it went viral on like all the social medias that I didn't have, and like rappers just started hitting me up, like rappers that I listen to in my city, they all just started hitting me up and wanting to get in the studio with me. So that's really where it started at.
Wow. So you just talked about, your brother and being around your brother and him rapping. Like, who are some of your other influences?
It's mostly Detroit rappers, like the ones I grew up listening to, like Doughboys Cash Out. It was this group called Stunt Hard. Babyface Ray, 42 Doug, y'all probably heard their names.
Yeah, we've actually had 42 Doug on the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I just did a song with him too, so y'all gonna be hearing that soon.
Okay. 42 Doug signed to Lil Baby, right? So that's like a decent feature. Like any other like solid features that you're working on right now?
I am, but I don't want to announce them yet
Yeah.
because I want it to be a surprise. Because I don't really do features. Like, I like to really just rap by myself, but I've been trying to, collab with other artists. Like, I do like, the music that I make with other artists. It's just not my cup of tea. Like, I wouldn't be pressed to, do it. So now I am, and it's people that a lot of my fans always tell me they want to hear me with, or just people that I listen to in general. So it's gonna be dope.
Are you a football fan at all?
No.
Not having it.
Listen, I only ask because I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. And
I mean, I know about the Lions. I don't know about.
so I just want to know, like, are you disappointed in them just as bad as I am? I don't get the Detroit Lions fan. Like,
I'm still represent for the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Whether they doing good or bad, we all have our off seasons. But I don't listen to it. I mean, I don't watch it, so no, I wouldn't know what's going on.
You watch like reality TV shows?
Yeah, I watch reality.
What's your favorite one? And also, I thought about it because there's no Love and Hip Hop in Detroit. If they were to bring that there, would you go on it?
Nah, because I feel like the whole the thing that they do with the putting people in the same areas that ain't gonna work out for me. Like, it's not gonna be the outcome they expect. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I'd rather just keep that off TV, unless they, on some positive stuff and just like, keeping me in a positive state. Other than that, I don't think that's a good idea to have Molly Brazy on a national TV live. No, that's not good. But reality TV, I watch Naked and Afraid. And
Oh.
yeah, I watch weird shows. Other than that, I watch shows. Yeah.
Naked and Afraid is an amazing show, by the way. Amazing.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, is this something I should watch?
Right, I'm like, I'll have to check it out now.
Yeah,
Molly, so did you ever finish high school?
No.
So you started rapping in high school and just left, and then just went into your rap career?
No, the day I got kicked out is the day I started rapping. That's when everything took off. Really, I never double thought like, oh, I should go back. Like, I was just always busy with everything else I was doing. Like, life just took off after that. So, like,
I'll say this, Molly. I think education is important, but if I had 1.3 million, I wouldn't be worried about it. Yeah. What's the songwriting process? Like, how does that process go for you?
For me, it's more about the beat. Most of the time, if I'm in the studio, like, I can't just. It takes me a long time to write. I ain't gonna lie about that. But if I'm just in the studio and I hear a beat, then I can make a hook to it. But I probably would not be able to make the verses. The verses come to me like throughout the day. I don't know why. Like, it just like the hook will be stuck in my head. So like things around the hook will just be coming in my head during the day, and I hurry up and write it down. And then eventually it become a whole song, and then I'll be able to go ahead and record it.
It's crazy that you say that because I don't write. So like that process that takes you like a day or a couple of days it'll just never happen for me because I can't. It's amazing that people are able to do stuff like that. Hear a beat, come up with a hook, and then even come up and just from inspiration around you to come up with something. I think that's amazing.
Molly, do you write it down or is it all freestyle, like off the top of your head?
I write it down. Yeah, I write it down. I put it in my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you get signed? What's that story like?
Like which time? This time?
Yeah. Well, tell us your whole your whole journey.
Okay, that's for me. Yeah. Where they coming from?
She bought you cucumbers, girl.
Now, okay, so my signing process, well, my first time getting signed was to Empire, and it was different, because Brazy, we had a really close relationship, like, you know, like he really fucked with me like the long way for the things that I do, like, you know, just that I was original and all this type of stuff, but at the time, I didn't really know too much about the business part. Like, that's where I fucked up at. And that's what I always tell new up-and-coming rappers. Like, you have to know the business side. I was one of the people that I expressed that to the T, no matter who I'm around. I don't like the business side. I don't know nothing about that. I literally get an attitude when people talk about the business side around me. But you cannot do that. Regardless of the fact, if you want to be a rapper, you have to know the business side. Like, if you know... you know, like, yes or no, it's not no, you know, question. You have to know at the end of the day. So when I was with Empire, the manager that I was with was not, I feel like that wasn't
a good
fit.
Just
situation. He wasn't it for that situation. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't know what he was doing business-wise, basically.
Yeah, basically. So it kind of messed up a lot of things over there. But Brazy still fuck with me to this day, only because he know me. You know what I'm saying? As a person, he know, you know, that I don't know what really was going on and stuff like that. Because I straight up call him, you know, and he answered and stuff like that. You know, we'd just chop it up, and he'd be like, "Dang, you don't know that," you know, stuff like that. So that's really where that comes from. But that was just an Empire. But it was a good run though, for sure. And then this is my second time getting signed on with BMG now, and it's lit. Like, everything about it is lit. Like, I like everything. Like, I don't have a problem with nothing that I have going on. And it's like, it's a different situation to where you don't get, like, you know how you get advance and all of that type of stuff. I'm okay with that now, because now I know, you know, what advances do to you, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm straight. I'd rather get it on my own. I'd rather, you know, grind for everything that I need. So, yeah. It's a lot, but it's a bigger chance to learn everything, too. Like, it's I can pace myself. I don't have to rush into things. And I'm starting a lot of, like, different branding things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Like, I got a tech deal where I'm putting out some headphones and Bluetooth.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's dope.
Girl, send us some. We'll wear them on the podcast.
I definitely will. Yes, I definitely. And I can say something. Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it. You designed the headphones yourself?
Yeah, I designed it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I like
the Brazy Bangers.
Yeah, they call Brazy Bangers. They lit too. They loud as hell. Everybody in here is trying to listen to, you know what I'm saying? Then it's gonna have my voice on it. Okay, I don't want to tell out everything. I got Bluetooth speakers. Those are wireless, so that's lit too. And then I have a clothing line coming out. It's merch, because I don't have merch out, but it's a clothing line. Like, it's a real clothing line. I also have a cosmetic line coming out. Yeah, I got a cosmetic line.
Yes, Molly.
First time I drop lip glosses really soon. It's not gonna be the ordinary lip gloss that everybody else do. I want it to be like improving the lips and plump stuff and vitamins and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Something different. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff in store.
That's good.
I love it.
I'm a fan. I'm really a fan of yours. And it's crazy because a lot of people, figures, like, I'm always like, I don't think they tweet their own stuff. Like, so I was going through your Twitter timeline, and now that I'm talking to you, I know you be tweeting your own stuff.
Yeah, I'm just now getting my Twitter back, so my most recent tweets, just don't mind those, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in a real situation or whatever, but yeah, I ain't doing that no more. I'm not venting on the internet no more. So.
I was gonna say, Yeah, I was gonna say that with 1.3 million followers on Instagram and having Twitter, like as a young artist, do you feel a lot of pressure to just make sure that everything you're saying and what you're putting out there, you know, really stands for who you are, and you know, because everybody got an opinion.
I'd rather just not say nothing, honestly. Like, if I'm not posting about my music or something like that, I'd rather just not say nothing. Like, they always come to you and ask you, like, say something just happened in the industry. They come to you and ask you, so what you think about this? It ain't my motherfucking business.
Okay, so I guess I won't ask you about Megan getting shot. Mental note.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I hope she recover. I hope she still got the Megan knees, you know what I'm saying? I hope she did.
Garnett, that's what you said. Garnett was worried about Megan's knees.
You know, you gotta squat down. You gotta use them feet muscles because I can't do that. And
So I have a question, Molly. We're in a very good space with female rap, where we have so many women. Like, we have women that are really popular. We have like the Nickis and the Megans and the Cardis and the Dojas. You know, they're really super popping. And then we have like the women that are on the come up, and then we have like the underground women that are still working, right? So as a woman really trying to make it, do you still find it hard or easy to kind of maneuver in the industry? Are you feeling like people are giving you more attention and they're showing more interest, or is it even harder now than it was before because there's so many women and now the labels are starting to see once more that people do want women rapping?
yeah. Well, I mostly try to focus on the positive. Like, I was at that stage in my career where I just felt like, when I saw something happening for another artist, when I know they don't write their own shit or something like that, you know, and I just been working so hard, you know, I would just hate it. Like, oh my fucking God, like, how did y'all see her and y'all don't see me? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, now that I grew up and now I see what's going on, and, you know, some people just get it easy like that. Honestly, it just happens like that for some people. And I feel like when you do have to work from, you know, nothing, it lasts longer. Like, people that get it fast, they lose it fast. Yeah, you might have that one hit, but you know what I'm saying? It's just not my time yet. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? I still, you know, focus on the positive and everything that I do have going on, because it can be worse. Like, you know, I still have fans. I still have people that support me. I still have people that's looking forward to my music, and I still getting new fans. So that's good at the end of the day. I still got, you know, labels looking at me, you know, hearing things from bigger artists, you know, artists that I'm like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it just keeps me motivated, basically. So it's just not my time when I do see stuff like that. So it don't bother me, though. Like, I like seeing people, you know, come up and, you know, progress in their career.
Yeah, that's fire. Do you have any pressure from the label at all, like to change the kind of music? Like, I know when I talk to a lot of the female rappers, and you're like we were talking about before, you rapping. Do they try to make you make like the R&B song, or like, you know, what they think is the radio song? Like, you know, how much creative control do you have at this point?
No, they don't try to change nothing about me. Actually, the label loves me. They love everything that I do, like everything that I make. You know what I'm saying? They just fuck with everything, for real. And they support everything that I do. So when it does come to change and stuff, it's more so my producers, my manager. You know, they just want me to go to the next level. Like, okay, try this, get into this bag. You know, stuff like that. And that's not a problem. You know, you can always try and, you know, do different things, but they don't ever pressure me to change anything or, you know, mix it up, nothing like that.
All right, so your song "Curious" is out right now. We were all listening to it, so you out here spitting, girl, and we love it. You know. Anybody else? Any of y'all got any other questions?
Nah, I honestly just want to say I'm happy that you're in a good situation now and that you love it, so that way you get everything that you want. Also super proud of you for being a hustler. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
you really know how to put the work in. So I hope you get everything that you want. And yeah, you got a fan now. You got a fan.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
I want to echo everything he said. I think I'm really amazed by you right now. When you said I got a tech deal, I said, "What's a tech deal?" And I saw this stuff in head. I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing." And I think it's a little amazing that like you found time to come on here and do this with us. And like you got your nails done, you got your hair done, you got the eyelash. Like you are like a superstar. I'm excited. Like
She came ready. She came camera ready.
Hard to hurry up and do something.
So what? So your project? You have a project on the way? What's going on with that?
Yes, I'm working on Pink Molly right now. Well, I keep saying I'm working on just like saying that, but it's done now. It's just getting like finalized and, you know, mixed and mastered and all of that. But I'm done with Pink Molly, so that's what's coming up next. Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
All right, Molly. Well, thank you for hanging out with us today. Make sure you listen to her song "Curious." Yes. And then also follow her. I mean, it's not like you need it, girl, but because you got a couple mil. And congratulations and good luck, Molly.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, baby.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. She was good.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. She definitely be spitting.
Yeah,
I like that song "Water." That what's that DJ Drewski that she got with Dream Doll, and I like that song too.
I saw that. You should have asked her about it.
I was about to.
Man, she's honestly she's captivating. Like she knows how to articulate herself. Very passionate about what she was talking about. Like I really just wanted to hear her talk even more.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure amongst other things you would like to hear her talk.
There we go.
Here we go with the red tails.
I've never seen Garnett so quiet.
No, I was interested in hearing what she had to say.
Is that so? I was like, are you shy? What is happening with Garnett? You know what though? I was really surprised by the fact that she had a lot of stuff going on for her as well. Like
that's dope.
The side business.
Super dope. And especially, I was gonna say the quarantine, probably the shutdown, I should say, I hope has shown people like you gotta have these additional lines and streams of income. So it's good that she's there already very, I don't want to say early in her career because she's been rhyming, but you know, at this point in her career.
Yeah.
It's great too because you normally see with artists like that stuff kind of comes out like a lot like afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
As it already, I think says a lot about her team and how they're moving. Also about like the world and how like it's moving too, especially with entertainment.
I think a lot of these young artists, they're not like the older artists. Like they have to figure out how to get it faster, you know, and they're not so locked into like that traditional, like, oh, I need the big major deal. Like even right now, how she said, oh, I'm good on an advance because I know what it means. That means you got to pay it back.
Right.
You know? So it's like a lot of the younger artists are like not really in that conventional, like when we hear about the TLCs or, you know, some of the older artists who really knew not much about the business and they got locked into like these 360 deals or, you know, these deals where they're not really allowed to do much. These younger artists know so much about it. So they're like, no, I'm good kind of running independent and kind of doing my own thing and still getting like that big label push, but they don't have absolute creative control over what I'm doing, you know? So anything else you guys want to talk about? We kind of hit everything. I mean, the timing was perfect today.
It really was.
Yeah, we killed it. Everybody got good lighting. We doing good.
We can see everybody.
Hey, so follow us on YouTube, and I can't even tell you how to follow us because we just started it, and it has all the numbers and letters and the ridiculous link, the long link. So I'm trying to get to the point. It says that we need 100 subscribers before you can change the link directory.
Okay.
So as soon as
follow us on YouTube, so we can get there.
Garnett asked me the other day, like, yo, can we record the video? I'm like, Garnett, we are recording the video of the podcast.
I mean, it's weird because usually I don't see that sign that says recording, and now it actually says it. In his defense, I don't normally see that.
No, I always have seen it.
Really?
That's because, yes.
Well, you know, I'm in the dark. My thing be all dark.
And I was going to say, Garnett's too busy passing around the corona, so that's why he ain't see it.
Here we go.
What kind of reaction did you get to that video, Garnett? Have you gotten any reaction?
I got to download it. I didn't post it yet.
Oh,
and I got reactions to it. People were like, yo, he really having a party over there?
I got reaction. Somebody said that I couldn't hide my face when I seen it, because I was like,
and I tried to compose myself, but then when it was like the third person, I was like,
okay. Yeah, Mina, your whole head did shit.
I was like,
okay,
hello. I see a little green corona right there.
Hear me out. Here y'all go. Ain't no corona over here.
No, remember when corona first started and we were still recording in my house? Garnett
and we were
came
joking
over with a cough.
Oh my God.
He was the first one to have a cough.
Yep, that was before we were shut down.
Gosh, this is what y'all doing. Why do you still remember that? Why is that still in your head?
Because I thought about it.
I remember, because we definitely were joking like, oh, you might have had a coronavirus they talking about. And Mina had the Lysol bottle and was like, kills coronavirus.
That's when we first realized the Lysol bottle said coronavirus. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, follow us on social media at Mina's House Pod. Find us on YouTube. Just Google it. That's the only way I know how to say it right now.
Mina Say What? It's going to pop right up.
Yes,
No, don't Google Mina Say What. Mina's House Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you Google Mina Say What, all my other crap will come up. We don't want that. So, all right. I'm Mina Say What. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Molly Brazy for gracing the pod today.
I'm Shayna B.
I'm Garnett B.
Dexter Stuckey, a.k.a. Dexter One.
Dexter One. It's the 137th episode of the Mina's House Podcast. Thank you for watching and listening.